Hello everybody, welcome to another video. I know I have not been posting in so long. Um, I'm still working on editing the Michigan vlog, like race day vlog from both days. It's gonna be one of the hardest videos I've ever had to have edited and edit myself and make, and it was so much fun, but I haven't been able to also do a like race weekend recap for Daytona and Darlington. Sorry I haven't, and same for Michigan. I didn't do a race weekend recap for either three of those races. So I know it's been a little while, but I mean, I'm just happy to be back. But this is going to be my playoff predictions video where I predict what's going to happen. I'm going to predict who wins each race throughout the playoffs, and I predict which drivers get eliminated and which drivers move on, and who will be driving off into the sunset as your 2024 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Here we go. So, let's start off in the round of 16. Who wins Atlanta? I say Brad K. I gotta go with my fellow Michigander. I say Brad K wins Atlanta just because he's really good on super speedways in every single generation of car he's ever raced in. And he's never won on super speedway Atlanta. He had another fast car back in February in Atlanta, but blew a tire from basically the lead and spun in front of Kyle Larson and others. So that's what took him out of winning Atlanta earlier in the season. But I think Brad K can heat up and lock himself in to the round of 12 with the win in the opening playoff race at Atlanta. Then in race 2 at Watkins Glen, I'm not favoring. I think Chase Elliott finally not just gets his second win of this year, finally gets his first road course win in the next gen car and gets one win closer to tying Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart with the most road course wins in the NASCAR Cup Series. With, if he wins at Watkins Glen like I predict, he'll be at 8. So I picked Chase Elliott to win at the Glen. And then how about we throw in a first-time winner? I think Ty Gibbs will get his first career win at Bristol in the night race just because of his prior statistics. He's been really fast at his 2 concrete Bristol races. Last year in the night race, led a ton of laps, had a winning car, and I think finished like 3rd or 4th. He finished really good. Then, also this year in his Sirius XM car, he would have won if he didn't blow a tire. He had an amazingly fast race car. He won stage 1. He was fast and up front all race. But obviously the tire wear, the immense amount of tire wear, didn't allow him to win. It allowed his teammate, Denny Hamlin, to go to victory lane. So I predict Ty Gibbs will get his first NASCAR Cup Series win at last at Bristol. And the 4 that I picked to be eliminated are Harris and Burton. I mean, that's obvious. He's not going to make it. He has to win Atlanta, I'd say, and I just don't see it happening. And then Watkins Glen and Bristol, he's not finishing in the top 15 there. Then I also pick Austin Cindric. I say his immense amount of pressure that's been put on him to go contend for a championship. I mean, he's an amazing race car driver. It's just he's not that good of a cup driver, or at least he's not been put in good situations. He did win at Gateway earlier this season, but I don't know if he would have if Blaney didn't run out of fuel. So if we're looking at the best statistics, I say it's Cindric. Then I also pick that the even number year stretch for Joey Logano will end in 2024. It's been an abysmal season. Before his Nashville win, he was like 18 points out of the playoffs. And if he didn't win that race, I don't think he would have made the playoffs. So, I mean, it was a lucky win, but I just don't see that he has the speed and the consistency and the points to make it past this first round of the playoffs. And then the final guy I think that's going to get eliminated is Daniel Suarez. I mean, I'd love for Suarez to make it to the next round. I just don't see it happening. It feels like Trackhouse has taken steps backwards every year. Besides 2021, if we're looking at 2022, they were really good. Both cars won races. Chastain with 2, Suarez with 1. Both cars made the playoffs. Suarez made it to the round of 12. Would have made it to the round of 8 if he didn't break I think it was the transmission or something on his car at the Roval. So he would have advanced to the round of 8. But obviously he didn't, and Chastain finished second in the championship race. But in 2023, Suarez went winless, missed the playoffs. Chastain only won 2 races, but he got eliminated in the round of 12. He just wasn't as good as he was in 2022. And then in 2024, Chastain is the one who might most likely will go winless and obviously he did miss the playoffs. And Daniel Suarez, with that amazing 3-wide photo finish at Atlanta, won. But obviously, I don't know if he's going to have that good of a day at Atlanta. I mean, it's a super speedway. Anything can happen. And then Watkins Glen, I think, is his other best opportunity. I think he can get maybe a top 10 there. But I just don't see Bristol having a good run for Suarez. I think his best finish is like 25th or something. I don't know. But Bristol's just not been a good track for Suarez. So those are the 4 I think are going to get eliminated in the first round. Burton, Cindric, Logano, and Suarez. Now, moving on to the round of 12, the tracks lining up are Kansas, Talladega, and the Roval. Kansas is the only normal race, I should say, on the round of 12 playoff schedule, because Talladega, we know anything can happen, and at the Roval, I feel like anything else can happen. I mean, it just depends, and so I think at Kansas, it's going to be Tyler Reddick who wins at Kansas and will put 2311 back in victory lane at Kansas. I think he has the speed. He is always fast at Kansas Speedway, and Toyotas have always been good there. So I think Tyler Reddick will get his 3rd win of the season and advance to the round of 8 with the win at Kansas. Talladega, both super speedways in the playoffs, I think, go to Brad Keselowski. I mean, if McDowell didn't put on that stupid block, I think Keselowski would have gotten to his inside with the help from Gregson, and Keselowski would have won at Talladega. So I just don't see why Keselowski won't be able to win at Talladega. I mean, he knows how to be up front there. He knows how to win there. He knows the strategy. It's just, can he avoid what he had happen to him in the round of 12 Talladega race last year, where he had a fast car, he could have contended for the win, but he got really aggressive with pushing, turned Carson Hocevar, and could have gotten through, except he got clipped in the left rear, and that's when his day was over. So, and essentially his playoffs were over. So I think Keselowski will pull through and make it to the round of 8 for the first time since 2021. I think Keselowski will get the win at Dega. And then at the Charlotte Roval, who do I pick there? There's many guys who I could pick there, even some guys who would be eliminated. Like, I could pick Suarez, but I'm not going to, obviously. But there's many drivers I could pick there. But I just don't have the security to pick a guy like Chase Elliott. I mean, he's good at the Roval. I think he'll get a top 5 or definitely a top 10. But I think William Byron gets the win for the first time in the Cup Series at Charlotte. I think he gets the win at his home track, and Byron gets his 4th win of the season after a long time since his last win at Martinsville back in like March. So I think Byron wins there. So the 3 winners I have are Reddick, Keselowski, and Byron. The 4 I have getting eliminated are Martin Truex Jr. I just don't see Truex advancing past possibly even the round of 16, but I think he'll barely get past the round of 16, and I think his final swan song season in the playoffs will come to a hard crashing end in the round of 12. And I'm also going to get rid of his teammate Ty Gibbs. I mean, I predict he'll get in an incredible first win, an emotional first win at Bristol to lock himself into the round of 12, but I think he'll be pretty good at Kansas, but then the other 2 tracks, I just don't know. Because if you have a bad race at Dega, like I predict Gibbs will have, I predict he might DNF there, then even a good run at the Roval won't save you. We saw with Chastain, where last year he had a good run at Texas, finished 2nd, but then wrecked at Dega, and then had to win at the Roval. So I think the same fate will happen to Ty Gibbs, and he will get eliminated in the round of 12. I also predict Alex Bowman will not make it to the next round. I mean, Alex is such he's a really good race car driver. I predict he'll easily get through the round of 16, but I just don't see him making it to the round of 8. I mean, he just hasn't had the car under him. He just hasn't been fully focused in the last several weeks, and I just don't predict Bowman can go any further than the round of 12. So, Bowman. And then finally, the other guy I am eliminating. It's gonna have to happen at some point. I mean, there are so many drivers that are good. There's so many guys who are really, really good. And Chase Briscoe is not in the perfect spot right now. I think Briscoe will also get eliminated. Briscoe will make it to the round of 12. I think he can. But unlike in 2022, he's not going to go on a miracle playoff run. He's going to get eliminated in the round of 12. So my 4 that I'm eliminating are Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, and Martin Truex Jr. Then moving on to the round of 8. Vegas, Miami, and Martinsville. 2 tracks where Kyle Larson's good at, and 1 track that Denny Hamlin's really good at. So I think at Las Vegas, it's going to be Christopher Bell. I think Christopher Bell wins at Las Vegas and locks himself in to the championship 4. Then at Homestead, Miami, I think it's Kyle Larson who wins. I mean, there's no way he can make the same mistake he made last year. I think Kyle Larson will dominate and he will win at Homestead, Miami. And at Martinsville, I'm going to say after 2 bad races and a possible must-win, just like in 2020, Chase Elliott will win at Martinsville, and he will advance to the championship 4. And then comes the guy who makes it in on points. It can really differ. And I just don't think either Ryan Blaney or William Byron will do it. I mean, Blaney, the reigning champion, I think will easily make it to the round of 8. I think he has the car, the driver, the talent, but I just don't see him making it to the championship 4 again. I mean, maybe he can have a good run at Martinsville and Homestead, and I don't know. I just don't see Ryan Blaney advancing to the championship 4. I mean, I could totally be wrong and he wins, but I just don't see it happening. Same with William Byron. I mean, 2024 has just not been 2023 for the driver of the 24. I just don't think it'll be the 24 and 24. I think Byron will be eliminated in the round of 8. And then I also pick that Denny Hamlin will be eliminated in this round. I mean, I think Hamlin is a really good race car driver. I just think the lack of playoff points will put him behind when he needed them most. So I think Denny Hamlin will be eliminated. Plus, again, if we go back, he's not that good at Vegas. He's just not. Homestead, I think he can run okay there, but again, we can see how your car or you can make mistakes in this round and it will cost you. And then at Martinsville, I think Hamlin will be pretty good, but I just don't know if he'll have the same speed that he did last year in the Xfinity 500 in the fall like he did in 2023 when he led a crap ton of laps. So I think he'll be eliminated. And then I mean, Tyler Reddick makes the championship 4 in my opinion. I think Reddick, the regular season champion, is the 4th guy in. And that leaves one other guy out. I mean, if you look at the 16 playoff drivers, I just don't know if I see him making the Final 4. So the guys I eliminate are Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, and Brad Keselowski. I just don't see Keselowski making it. So those are the 4 that I eliminate in the round of 8. So my final 4 is Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Tyler Reddick. Now, at Phoenix, I'd say Reddick and Bell have the best pace, And I think Larson and Elliott are close, but just not as good because Toyotas are so good at Phoenix, at least earlier in the spring. So I predict that Reddick will not win it. I think he'll make some sort of mistake going for broke, and this year Tyler Reddick will not win the Cup Series championship. He really deserves. I also think that Kyle Larson will not win it and Chase Elliott will not win it. Who does that leave? I think Christopher Bell sweeps Phoenix for the year and becomes a NASCAR Cup Series champion. So leave your playoff predictions down in the comments below. Tell me if I'm right. Fight me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm just happy that we get to see this and ride on for the next 10 weeks. So it's going to be an exciting 10 weeks. Don't forget to tune into Atlanta on Sunday. Tonight's the Xfinity race. So I wonder who will win there. So it's going to be fun here in Atlanta and just excited. So let's go playoff racing. I mean, the next 10 weeks are going to be so fun. This is my first full season as a NASCAR YouTuber, and it's been fun. So what a wild ride it's been, and can't wait for the next 10 weeks. Go Chase. Let's fucking win Atlanta. Peace.